Hello everybody. We are going to see the topic Introduction to Cost Accounting. In this topic today we are going to see classification of cost, or we can say cost classification for decision making and control. Under this we are to see the different concepts of cost. After that we will see what is mean by coding system and different systems of codification which are used. Let us see first of all cost classification. Now, this cost classification usually made for taking decisions as well as control purpose. There are in total 13 different concepts of cost under this cost classification. We will see one by one. First concept is relevant cost. Now, relevant costs are the future costs which differ under different alternatives. In case of replacement decision, cost of old machine is relevant cost. Now, there are two alternatives. We have to replace that machine. In that case, if we give our old machine, we can get new machine at 10 lakh. If we are not giving that machines, we have to incur 12 lakh. But while selling in the market, we can't get 2 lakh of it, we may get 1 lakh 60,000. Now, if we take alternative of exchanging that machine, we can get 2 lakh of old machine. 12 lakhs machines we get at 10 lakh. But in alternative case, we have to incur 12 lakh for taking new machine, and our old machine is sold for 1 lakh 60,000. So 40,000 loss we have to incur. So in alternative 1 replacement, we get 2 lakh of old machine. In alternative 2, we get only 1 lakh 60,000 by selling our old machine. Such costs are known as relevant cost. Another is irrelevant cost. These costs are not relevant. They cannot be changed by managerial decision. In case of replacement decision, our depreciated book value of old machine is irrelevant cost. As we have shown from year to year our depreciation, it is recorded in our final accounts. We have taken our statements audited. So whatever is accumulated depreciation or book value of depreciation, we can't change. So it is known as irrelevant cost. Let us see the third concept, that is sunk costs. Sunk costs are the historical cost. These are past period costs. Now, it cannot be changed by later decision. It is not relevant for taking decisions. Now, in case of replacement of machinery decision, depreciated book value of old machine is a sunk cost. Why? Whatever depreciation we charge for last 10 years, 15 years, we cannot change now. Whatever rate we apply that time, what was written down value every year, that things we can't change. They are historical, they are related with past period. So these costs are known as sunk costs. So sunk cost means what? Such costs which are historical in nature, which cannot be changed by later decision or taking decision today. Let us see the fourth concept, which is known as shutdown cost. Now, shutdown costs are the costs which are incurred even if the plant is shut down. When our plant is shut down, organization is not in existence, our business is not in existence, particular production we are not producing, even that time we have to incur certain costs. For example, if we shut down our plant, we have to pay the rent of that particular building where plant was located. We have to calculate depreciation on that building. We have to pay insurance of that building. Even if our plant is shut down, production is not running, such expenses we have to make. In spite of shutting down our work, we are paying such expenses, so they are called as shutdown costs. Next is out of pocket costs. Now let us see what is meant by out of pocket costs. Certain costs which involve cash outlay, when we have to pay the expense or pay the cost in the form of cash, they are known as out of pocket costs. This can be avoided or saved. Now, which are the out of pocket costs? Let us see some examples. We are paying wages to the workers, we are paying rent, we are paying insurance, we are purchasing material. Each and every time we have to pay cash in some form. We can avoid that or we can save that. If we are not paying that cash today, say after 2 months I will pay, after 1 month I will pay, in that form we can keep that outstanding and we can save today. Sometimes we avoid, we are not purchasing material, we are not employing labor, that time they can be saved. Means we have to reduce purchase, we have to reduce number of workers, in that way they can be saved. So out of pocket cost means whatever we are incurring, whatever we are paying in the form of cash. Now let us go towards opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is nothing but the sacrifice in accepting an alternative course of action. Today I am having 10,000 rupees. I can use it for purchasing a mobile phone. Or alternative is that I can purchase whatever grocery required for my month's consumption. Now if I purchase mobile phone or cell phone, then I will not get any money for purchasing grocery throughout the month. If I use that money for purchasing grocery for the month, I can't purchase mobile phone. So two alternatives are there, or more than two alternatives are there, but for one use, if I use my money, I cannot use it for another. This is what is known as opportunity cost. So for taking advantage of one opportunity, another opportunity is lost. So opportunity cost is nothing but opportunity loss. If I am not purchasing mobile phone and using for grocery that 10,000, then opportunity of purchasing mobile phone is lost by me. Same happens in business. By using limited resources, we have to capture different opportunities. In that case, we say alternative A, purchase particular machine, then opportunity of purchasing some another machine is lost. This is what is known as opportunity costs. Let us go towards imputed costs. Now, we have seen out of pocket cost. In that case, we have to pay actual money. Say purchase of raw material for 10 lakh, we have to pay 10 lakh rupees. It is totally opposite is imputed cost. Imputed costs are the notional cost which cannot involve any cash outlay. Now, whenever interest on capital is paid, we are having our own building and we are showing notional rent on our own building. That time neither we have to pay interest on capital nor we have to pay rent of our own building. So they are notional, never we have to pay cash for it. Such costs are known as imputed costs. Let us see some another cost concepts which is known as differential costs. Now, differential costs are also called as incremental costs. It is the increase or decrease in total cost because of change in level of activity. When level of activity changes, that time total cost also changes. It either increases or decreases. This is what is called as incremental cost or differential cost. Now let us see example. Now cost under alternative A is say 2 lakh and alternative B it is 2,50,000. Now what is differential or incremental cost? Alternative A, it is 2 lakh. Alternative B, it is 2,50,000. So difference of 50,000 is known as differential or alternative, incremental cost. Now let us go towards another concept, marginal cost. Marginal cost is part of aggregate cost which changes due to changes in output by 1 unit. It is the total variable cost. When we say variable cost, we should know what is the amount of direct material, what is the amount of direct labor, what is the amount of direct expenses, and what is the amount of variable overheads. By taking combination or total of it, we can get marginal cost or say variable cost. Now we take one example of marginal cost. Direct material is say 1,50,000. Direct labor is 1 lakh. Direct expenses are 50,000 and variable overheads are 80,000. That time the marginal cost will be, we have to take total. Direct material we are having 1,50,000. Direct labor we are having 1 lakh. Direct expense we are having 50,000 and variable overheads we are having 80,000. When we take total, it becomes 3,80,000. Now this 3,80,000 is known as what is called marginal costs or variable costs. Let us go towards another concept which is known as replacement costs. Now replacement cost is the current purchase price of identical asset. I have not said similar, it is identical. Let us see example. Our old machinery was purchased for 1,50,000 in the year 2005. It is to be replaced in 2013 for rupees 2,50,000. Now replacement cost is 2,50,000. So whatever cost we incur for replacing our old asset is known as replacement cost, and this replacement cost is nothing but the present or current purchase price of identical asset which is replacing our. Let us see conversion cost. Now conversion cost is cost of converting raw material into finished goods. Now whenever we convert our raw material in finished goods, we have to incur cost like direct labor, direct expense or manufacturing overheads. They all are known as conversion cost. Next is very much important concept which is called as committed cost. Now these are the costs which cannot be avoided in short run once the decision to incur them has been taken. Now committed costs are such costs which we can't avoid in short run, short period. In long period we can avoid that. For example, if we purchase machinery, then we can't change our decision and sell it today or tomorrow. We have to incur depreciation every year on that. In short run we can't change our decision or we can't sell that machine. So depreciation on machinery is the example of committed cost. Let us see another concept, discretionary costs. Now these are the costs which can be avoided by managerial decision. For example, our advertising cost, research and development cost, such costs are depends on managerial decision. If organization are having good financial position, management has strategy to capture more market, they can incur advertising expense or they can incur research and development expense for developing new products, searching something new. So these costs depends on management decision, whether we have to incur or whether we have to avoid, that depends on management decision. They are called discretionary costs. Now after steering out at different concepts of costs under cost classification, let us go towards coding system. Now codification means what? Codification means nothing but assigning code number so as to make it easier to identify each group of overheads. It can become increasingly important in large organization where machine accounting system is used. The overhead code numbers are also called standing order numbers. There are four systems usually used for codification of overheads. They are the numerical system, the decimal system, the mnemonic system, and the combined code system. Now, first we will see the numerical system. The numerical coding system uses numbers so as to indicate the general category of expenditure as well as specified account. It may use sequential codes, block codes, or group codes. For example, the numerical coding may be done like this: manufacturing overheads, 100 manufacturing overhead control, salaries to foreman 101, overtime bonus 102. When we take selling and distribution overhead control, that time it will be 200. Printing and stationery we take 201. Salary and commission to salesman 202. Like that is known as numerical coding. Means number is given to each and every code. Now second is the decimal system. The decimal methods also uses full number as well as decimal number. In this method, the full number indicate specific group code and decimal number represent subgroup code. Let us see example. The decimal method can be used like this. Factory overheads 70 is its code. So 70.1 is factory rent, 70.2 depreciation on machinery, 70.36 say depreciation on factory building. Like this code is used. In case of selling overheads, we can say 80 is the code. Now in decimals, 80.1 salaries to salesman, 80.2 advertising, like that. Third code is nothing but mnemonic system. The mnemonic system of coding uses alphabets and letters. These codes are easy to remember and are subjected less to error. For example, we can say distribution overheads code is DE, administrative expenses AE. When we say factory expenses FE, like that code we use, it is known as mnemonic system. Its codes are very much easy to remember. We are having less chances of error because alphabets and letters we are using for the purpose of this coding. Let us see our fourth system, the combined code system. Now the combined code system uses letters as well as alphabets and numbers for identification of overheads. The letters or alphabets indicate the specific group of overhead and number represent subgroup of overheads. For example, we say the coding under this system can be done like this. SO1 indicates selling overheads, SO, and 1 represents salary to salesman. Another, if we take RM3, in that case, RM means repairs and maintenance and 3 means say plant. Like this coding is made, means we are having mnemonic system as well as we are having with us numbering numerical system. So we are taking combination of both mnemonic as well as numerical. Such coding is called combined coding. So when we say coding system, we are having four methods: numerical system, decimal system, mnemonic system, and combined code system. Now in this lecture we have seen different 13 concepts of cost, that is cost classification, which is usually made for the purpose of decision making as well as keeping control. Also we have seen four different methods of coding and what is the exact meaning of coding and why this coding is carried out. We are going to stop here. Thank you.